In a quiet town surrounded by soft green hills, Ethan, a 20-year-old college student, walked slowly toward his small local school. Birds sang above him, children laughed in the distance, yet none of it touched him. Inside his mind was only one thought: why can't I study like everyone else inside the classroom? Sunlight leaked through dusty windows. Ethan sat alone at the last desk, staring at his open books. Words danced. Letters blurred. His mind drifted. His classmates whispered and smirked whenever he made a mistake. And every whisper felt like a knife. After school, when the halls went silent, Mr. Harris, the 45-year-old philosophy teacher, remained seated alone reading a book. Ethan slowly walked toward him, almost afraid of being judged again. "Sir, can I talk to you?" he said quietly. Mr. Harris looked up with warm eyes and gestured to the chair beside him. "What troubles you, Ethan?" For a moment, Ethan couldn't speak. His throat tightened. Then finally, "Sir, I feel hopeless. I try to study, but nothing stays in my mind. I can't focus. I feel like a failure." Mr. Harris smiled gently, not the smile of a teacher, but of someone who had once been lost too. "You're not alone," he said softly. Then he placed a glass bottle filled with muddy water on the desk. "What do you see?" "Dirty water," Ethan replied. The teacher set the bottle down and said, "We will leave it for a while." An hour later, Ethan watched the dirt settle, the water slowly turning clear. "What do you see now?" "The water is clear, sir." Mr. Harris nodded. "Your mind is the same, Ethan, when it's full of stress, fear, and noise and nothing makes sense. Calm your mind first, and learning will follow." Then Mr. Harris lit a single candle in the dim classroom. "Focus on this flame," he instructed. Ethan tried, but his thoughts ran everywhere. Doubts, memories, fear of exams. Mr. Harris whispered, "The past is gone. The future is not here yet. Focus on this moment. Only this." Ethan took a slow breath and tried again. This time his mind stayed still a little longer. The flame flickered gently, and for the first time in months, Ethan felt peace. Mr. Harris smiled. "You're learning." The teacher gave Ethan a sponge and a rock. He poured water on both. The sponge absorbed everything. The rock absorbed nothing. "Some students memorize without understanding," he said. "They are the rock. But the ones who imagine, visualize, and feel the lesson, they become the sponge." Ethan looked at the rock and cold, ardent, unchanged, then at the sponge, full and alive, and inside him something shifted. A small spark, a quiet realization. Maybe I can change. The journey to a focused mind had finally begun. The sun had almost set when Ethan returned home. His room was small, quiet, and a little messy, books scattered, papers everywhere. He stood at the window, watching the hills turn orange for the first time in months. He felt a tiny spark of hope. Ethan placed the muddy water bottle on his study table. He sat down, closed his eyes, and took slow breaths. In, out, in, out. The noise in his mind slowly faded. For the first time, his thoughts weren't fighting each other. Soft breeze entered from the window as he opened his book. He read one paragraph, then closed the book and asked himself, "What does this truly mean?" He didn't memorize, and he understood. A small smile appeared on his face, but his past fears returned for a moment. The classmates laughing, the shame, the feeling of being not good enough. He clenched his fists, then remembered Mr. Harris's words. Bring your mind back to the present. He lit a candle on his table. The golden flame flickered silently. Ethan stared at it, his eyes soft, calm, focused. Every time his attention drifted, he gently pulled it back. Slowly, the flame became his world. Hours passed. His room grew darker, but something inside him was lighting up. A confidence he had never felt before. He knew this was just the beginning, but a powerful beginning. The next morning at school, Ethan sat in the back seat of his class. He opened his book, breaking his chapter into small parts, just like the wooden block. For once, the lesson didn't feel like a mountain. It felt like steps. During lunch, while others talked loudly, Ethan sat alone under a tree with his notebook. He wrote down ideas, explained concepts to himself, and imagined examples. It felt different. Learning wasn't tiring anymore. It was interesting. Later that week, Ethan visited Mr. Harris again. The teacher watched him with proud eyes. "Sir," Ethan said softly, I think I'm changing." Mr. Harris placed a hand on his shoulder and replied, "No, Ethan, you're not changing. You're discovering yourself." That night, Ethan practiced again. Just 20 minutes. Every day, without skipping. Like watering a small seed, like growing a plant inside his mind. And slowly, kind without noise, without showing off, Ethan became a new person. His focus sharpened. His fear faded. He wasn't the boy who ran from studies anymore. He was the boy who fought for his future. Night falls over the small town. A soft breeze moves through Ethan's open window. His old textbooks, once symbols of fear, now lie open with notes, diagrams, and highlighted ideas. Ethan sits at his desk, focused, calm, steady as a completely different boy from the one who once felt hopeless. The candle Mr. Harris gave him burns softly. Ethan stares at the flame, grounding himself in the present moment. His breathing deepens. His mind clears. He whispers to himself, "I can do this." Cut to the school exam hall. Students sit nervously, tapping pens, whispering anxiously. But Ethan? He sits straight, shoulders relaxed, eyes determined. He remembers the muddy water bottle, the spong, the wooden block, the seeds, and he smiles. As the exam begins, Ethan reads the first question. For the first time in his life, his mind does not panic. He takes a slow breath. He understands the concept. He writes with confidence. Scene shifts, time passing. Calendar pages flip. Ethan studies every day, a little at a time. We see him breaking topics into parts, practicing, reviewing, repeating. Not perfect, but consistent. Every day 1% better. Exam results day. Students gather around the notice board, pushing, shouting, laughing. Ethan hesitates, then steps forward. He scans the list. His eyes widen. He did it. He actually did it. Not top of the class, but better than he had ever imagined. Ethan looks around, but the classroom is empty. Only Mr. Harris stands nearby, smiling gently. Ethan says with tears in his eyes, "Sir, I didn't think I could ever change." Mr. Harris places a hand on his shoulder. Change begins the moment you believe you can. Years later, a beautiful office, framed certificates on the wall. Ethan, now a confident young man, sits at his desk, mentoring a new student struggling with studies, the same way he once struggled. Your mind is powerful. Once you learn to focus it, your whole life changes. Ethan stands by a window overlooking the city. The candle flame still burns on a small table beside him, and a reminder of where everything started. If Ethan's journey inspired you, imagine what you can become. Start today. Calm your mind. Focus on the present. Understand deeply. Break tasks into parts. Practice every single day. Your success is not about talent. It's about focus, discipline, and belief. Master your mind. Master your life. If you want more stories like this, subscribe to Wordy Tales and share this video so it can inspire someone who needs it today. I'll be back with another life-changing story. Until then, stay patient, stay focused, stay unstoppable.